A build in Valheim is never truly complete without interior decoration to fill in the blanks, and while furniture items from the build menu are nice, they aren't always enough. So here are 10 plus furniture ideas that you can make yourself to spice up your Valheim builds. Let's get into it. First up, flower pots. A simple design, perfect for adding a little bit of nature to your home. For the most simplistic design, place 4 vertical item stands into a square shape, making sure the item side is facing inwards. Then just grab some Grey Dwarf Brute trophies, attach one to each item stand, and there you have it, one flower pot. If you want a slightly bigger version with a different shape, you can try this orientation too. Or just get creative and see what works. Next up, bedside tables. Another really simple design concept, but it can add a lot of detail to a room. To make it, place down a normal stool from the build menu. Then place a horizontal item stand in the center. Grab a wooden shield, place it on the item stand, and the table is done. To add items on top, temporarily remove the shield and place more item stands on the stool. Then place the items, put the shield back, and your bedside table is good to go. This same concept can also be used to make platters on a dining table. Place a horizontal item stand on the table, followed by a wooden shield. This will give you the foundation for the platter. To add items on top, remove the shield, place additional item stands followed by foods or drinks of your choice, replace the shield, and the platter is ready for serving. Now naturally, the platter will sit higher than other items that are attached, which can cause some foods and drinks to appear cut off. To fix this, simply stack multiple item stands on top of one another and the foods will sit flush on top. Next up, cabinets. The perfect add-on to any kitchen or hallway. Lay down some 1x1 walls along the side of any room. Then put some 1x1 floors over top with the tiles facing side to side. Now, grab some signs. This is where the magic really happens. Signs can be laid meshed together to create one large cabinet, or slightly separated to create 2 smaller ones. Then open up the text box and type in a singular dash to give your cabinets their handles. This dash can also be moved around by using some extra spaces. Lastly, if you want to add an open cabinet, destroy one of the walls, add in 2 signs facing outwards on either side, and one more onto the very end. Add in a couple 2x1 beams in the back, followed by a 1x1 floor tile, and one last beam down below, and the cabinet is complete. Now, staying on the topic of storage, let's get functional and talk about shelving. If you want an area to put some items or spare gear on display, then this is the place. To start, make a 2x1 rectangle using 1x1 walls. Then close it off using wooden shutters. From there, build up the walls until they're 3 high, and line the front edges with 1x1 wooden beams. Use flooring to close off the top, bottom, and the shutter section, and the foundation is complete. Now the details are up to you. Throw in a chest behind the shutters, make a design on top using a wood beam and floor tiles, and customize the inside using a variety of different techniques, such as basic storage or items on display. It's all up to you. And shelving doesn't have to be limited to the standard vertical design. Wall shelves are another great option. Stylistically, there are many ways you can do this, but here are 3 of my favorites. The first is made using 2x1 log beams. Free snap to the wall at a 45-degree angle to form a triangle. Do this twice and you've got your first shelf. Then place some item stands inside and prop up your items. Again, item stands can be stacked to get your items displayed at a desired height. Next up is the classic wall shelf. Again, start with a 2x1 log beam coming out at a 45-degree angle. For this one, you want to make sure the beam is snapping to a part inside the wall, otherwise it will stick out too much. To make it easier, we're going to start placing the item stands now before completing the shelf. Start from the end and line 10 to 11 of them straight across as best you can. Tack on some items of your choice, then add on a 4x1 log beam and complete the shelf with one last 2x1. The last wall shelf is the most abstract, being a 3-piece set. To make this, you'll first need to destroy a wall where you want the shelf to be. Then place a 1-meter wood beam sticking out around a 1/4 in length from the face of the wall. Add on 2 more 1-meter wood beams to complete the shelf, and then put the wall back. Repeat this 2 more times to complete the full set. Once they're in place, you can either put item stands on top for a look like this, or destroy the front beam, insert the item stands at a level of your choice, and snap the beam back on for a more flush look. Number 7, storage boxes. Following the theme of putting items on display, these open top storage boxes are great for adding that lived-in feel to a room. To make one, place 4 signs on the ground in the shape of a square, and fill the inside using a 1x1 floor tile. Place your item stands on top and fill them up with some goods. This technique can be used to create storage boxes of all shapes and sizes, so get creative. Just note that other shapes may require 2-meter log beams to be used as filling opposed to the 1x1 floor tile. Next up, a sofa. And not only does it look good, but it's functional too. Start out by placing a bench in the desired area, making sure it's facing the right direction. Then place a 2-meter log beam on either sides of the bench, positioned like this. Line the back and make sure to fill the gaps. Repeat this, stacking each side up once more and the back up twice more. Add a couple cushions using signs, and you've got yourself a pretty stylish sofa. You can even add an item stand on one of the armrests to have a drink ready while you relax. Or maybe a coffee table would be better suited for that. It's the perfect addition to any lounge space. To make it, place down a 2-meter wood pole to use as a guide. Then free place a 1-meter wood beam so that it's about halfway into the floor. Destroy the guidance pole and extend the beam out one more. Free place a couple more beams to double up on the width, and top it off with a couple 1x1 floor tiles. Throw on some item stands and get a couple drinks or even a food platter ready to go on your new coffee table. Next up, it's time to spice up the sleeping quarters by adding a bed frame to your bed. Start with placing 2 beds side by side with their headboards flush against the wall. Free place 2 4-meter log poles on either end of the headboard side of the beds, clipping around halfway into the beds themselves. Do the same on the opposite side using a couple 2-meter log poles. Line this end using 3 signs, doing the middle one last to make it easier. Then line the sides of the bed using 2-meter log beams along the bottom to complete the frame. Now add a log bench in place of the original headboards, followed by a couple banners of your choice over top. Lastly, you can even tack on a Lox rug over top as a much more cozy blanket. But if this bed isn't quite your style, then here's a bunk bed idea for use in tighter spaces. Begin by placing a 4-meter log pole in the desired location. This will become one of the corners for your bunk bed. Extend this out by one 4-meter and one 2-meter log beam before placing another 4-meter log pole. Use a couple more 4-meter log beams to extend the build across, and replicate the same steps from before on this side. Next, line the bottom of the frame using more beams, and a 2-meter log pole to each corner on top to complete the foundation. Much like the previous build, use signs to create half walls around the perimeter, placing them so they are just barely clipping inside the log beams. You can leave gaps in these 2 areas here to function as entrances later on. On the 2 narrow ends down here, you can use carved dark wood dividers to create some privacy detail for the bunk below. Now prop up a ladder leading to the top bunk where we left that gap, and fill in the floor using 1x1 tiles. Finally, place in your beds. For some added detail, you can add item stands on either side of the beds with yellow mushrooms attached to act as a nightlight, slip some rugs down below, and your bunk bed is officially complete. Well, those are some of my best furniture ideas to spice up your Valheim builds. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like and consider subscribing. Leave a comment letting us know which furniture idea was your favorite. And with that said, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.